We're on, guys, and welcome to the Action Sports Show. And what a great show we have for you today. My man, what's happening?
Well, yeah, just got back from an amazing trip. My name's Dan McGranahan, for those of you that don't know me. And
I'm Jim Holtis.
And I just got to say, had a great first of all, and we're joined by Dan Eckert of Baja Designs. And
Dan Dodds, come on the show, son. Come on in. Come on in.
Let's get Mr. Dodds on the opening segment here.
Come on in and sit yourself down.
Take a chair, any chair. So what I got to say to our host, Jim, we've spent a lot of time together, us four, along with a lot of other, 12 other people during this amazing trip. And Jim, I just got to tell you, you've been rickrolled, my friend. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's just how I feel after this trip. It's just how I felt. And I just had to share you that. And now you've been rickrolled. So what's up? That's how I'm coming out swinging. That's what's happening.
I wasn't paying attention to him. And then the music came on, and I was like, this is awesome.
I thought we were going to start karaokeing again or something.
Well, there's no wig here. So what are we going to do?
Well, Dodds, welcome to the show, bud.
Thanks for having me. This is kind of a surprise. I came here to
Did you bring
out.
your trophy with you?
No, I did not. I actually sent that to the guy that does all my shout-out boxes for all my trophies that I get. So that's
you probably keep that guy pretty busy.
Oh, well, it's hard being Malibu Dan.
Yeah. Fair enough.
So no, I did not bring it. I wish I would have known. I would have played a little riff.
For those of you listening at home, I need it a little louder in my ear, of course. For those of you listening at home, our boy Malibu Dan here went on the Full Moon Baja Adventure trip with us. And, man, he was eating dust the whole time because he is the chase guy at the very back of the pack. But Malibu Dan here is also a paramedic, fireman. So he was there to make sure we all stayed safe and teach us all how to Dougie. Teach me how to Dougie. teach me how to Dougie. Come on.
I'm new to that one, actually. I haven't. That's like new school. I'm kind of still old school. I get down with the.
Brittany's about as new as you get.
Yeah, because that's Brittany came out when I was in high school, and what high school young man didn't like Brittany? Whether they want to admit it or not, she was on everybody's top 10. So
we're now joined by Steve Myers. So now we've got 5 of the brethren from the Full Moon Baja Adventure here on set. Steve,
good evening, gentlemen.
Wonderful time.
It reminds me of a famous quote. This is actually a true famous quote, and it says something to the effect of, there's nothing that 5 men from the Full Moon Baja Adventure can't accomplish to change the world. In fact, it is the only thing that has ever changed the world.
Wow, that's some heavy stuff.
Bold statement right there.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. And we changed the world. We changed your world, man. When you got that award, you were
follow the social media, man. You are stoked and proud. And
Malibu Dan had a moment.
I did. It's funny, as silly as a lot of those awards are, and we have fun with them while we're down there and handing them out. It does mean a lot to be recognized, by your peers when we're down there and doing an adventure of a lifetime. Mine, is a little sillier than
what?
Others.
Whose?
Are we still
right
doing
here?
the
Are we
game?
doing right now?
Oh, here we go.
I think you guys set me up.
The first person to ever do. So it's going to have to go on set. So, Cameron, I know Rico's watching right here. So,
hey, count it
Nine
out.
plus one.
9 plus 1.
There you go.
Wow.
So, folks, you can't say the M word and you can't say the number between 9 and 11. And if you are, you're penalized. And then there's a word of the day.
We don't have one of those yet.
Can be anything.
I think we should make one.
Do we have a word of the day for today?
Right here?
Man, it's
probably a bad
brutal
idea.
Radio.
Right.
For those watching, it's enjoyable. It's brutal radio to not be able to really visualize it that well. So,
because then you got to come back and get your ears spinning and
plus you got to really explain. And so for everybody listening that has no idea what just happened, Dan Dodds just dropped and gave 9 plus 1 push-ups right in front of all of us right here on the set.
My pecs are still in recovery mode. Just so you know.
Definitely,
Yes.
mine too are definitely still hurting. So
How many did everyone do? I know I was over at least 120.
I was
I was about
over-
100, I think. Yeah,
over
at least.
100-ish. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
right in the hundo range.
Without dropping a beat, I think I was over 100 as well.
I think Nancy had 250 in one day alone.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that last day. Yeah,
But he's
he
a
did.
well-conditioned athlete, though.
Yes.
Remember?
That's right.
He is.
Yeah, no problem for him.
And for those that don't know, Nancy is the Baja surname for Josh Heron, who is a AMA Superbike champion, who was with us on the trip. Came with the Wiener Schnitzel crew, and I mean the guy is a gnarly dude on a bike. Like gets it. He won the America's Championship, and Chris is going to look up some stats on him real quick as soon as he closes down his MySpace.
Sticker.
Yeah, I checked out his Instagram when we got home, and he had a whole list of accolades. So he's a pretty accomplished dude at a young age.
He is really accomplished. Went over and actually I think he's even raced some GPs and some different things like that. For those of you that are watching, you see that Dan is holding up a sticker from Baja Designs that went on the side of the trucks. They all got separate stickers, which was really cool, and it showed off all the different sponsors. And I'm going to ask you to go ahead and read off some of those sponsors.
You know, of course, Toyota Escondido Action Sports, as you saw right on this one as well. Baja Designs. We've got Baja Bound Insurance, Wiener Schnitzel, Method Race Wheels, iBox Springs, Factory Canopies, Grip Clean, Fanda Labs, Slime, Scrubblade, TE Motorsports, the Action Sports Show, and the Desert Assassins. I mean, thanks to all the sponsors, partners, supporters, and attendees of this trip. Without you all, we couldn't have done it. And the group was just super special. There was no bad things happened. No bad people happened. I mean, just an amazing life-changing trip that, you know, we're part of the OG 16, the first annual of these events. And only 16 of us can say that.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Explain to everybody who all came to the trip. You know, if you would share some of the names, I'd be happy to fill in the gaps. I know
Well,
it's a lot of
Jim
people.
Holtis, yourself, you came.
I did.
I
and
myself, Dan McGranahan, and my brother Brian
There you go.
McFly, not McFly, McG,
One
McNice
fly
guy, what is it?
bry.
One fly bry. So yeah, my brother went, and so Rico Ferrante from Wiener Schnitzel, of course, Dan Eckert, Dan Dodds, Dan McGranahan, Steve Myers, Billy Westbrook from Scrubblade, Rod Cole was sent from the folks at IBOC. Who am I forgetting?
Probably Cameron Steele.
Cameron
Yeah.
Steele, yes, and
that guy.
and the guys on the chase crew, man,
They did a phenomenal
Azam
job.
and Adrian.
these guys are just absolutely amazing. So
Oh, Paul. Can't forget
Can't forget Paul. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
Oh,
buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
Vanderveen.
Good old Paul.
so
Yeah,
yep,
Factory Canopies
Factory
was
Canopies, I
there. Keep
mean-
it throwing shade.
and but Cameron, you know, for myself and all of our people, there's no one I'd rather have leading the ship. Everything's covered, everything's thought of. It's fun, it's friendly. He has everybody mix it up in the cars and certain times and sleeping arrangements, just because that way cliques don't form, and it's just everybody getting to change up. And I got some really good time hanging out with Dodds and Jim Holtis, and I didn't get any in the BD wagon. Or the Steve Myers wagon, but next time. But we all switched it up a little bit, and I think that was a really, really cool part of it. You know, get to experience some different things and different people.
I agree. You've been on a lot of these, Dan. What was your take?
It's you know, I did Rip to Cabo, and I was just part of the chase crew. And I got to admit that being able to have catering food out in the middle of Baja is pretty amazing. I mean, we're out in the middle of a wash where there's no one for hundreds of miles.
Yeah.
And that was just the first day. So
With the hanging rope bridge, don't forget that. It was
The
beautiful.
creeks, I mean,
The cricks.
definitely a creek.
Food was insane. I mean, just
Yes, it wasn't
unbelievable.
just catered. And what's the name of the catering company? Do you remember?
I want to say it was
AG
is it
or something?
AB.
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 Yeah.
I know there
It's like
a
Azam's
couple.
deal or something.
It might be. He uses a couple different guys, I think. I'm not exactly sure, but they're both fabulous. I mean, we're down in the middle of Diaper Creek. I don't know if I'm supposed to say that or not, because apparently you're not supposed to drop names of places in Baja. Or else they
So
throw,
I've
apparently
heard.
that's frowned upon.
Or else they throw
Sometimes
shade
the
at you.
natives will get restless.
Right.
You know, you never know.
But yeah, they're both phenomenal to go down there and eat that kind of food, and it really, it gives us the ability to go deeper, into these places that we normally might not go, because we got to think about fuel and food. So when you got guys on the chase like Azam and Adrian that can provide us lunch, provide us fuel, provide us the water, we can really get into those.
Air down the tires, air up the tires, snacks,
Yeah.
drinks. Every time you stop, they're right there. They're there waiting for you at the point. It is such a well-oiled machine. Man, kudos to all those guys.
Yeah.
Well, our man Steve here has been in Baja probably more than all of us. You've been on a lot of Baja excursions, raced all over down there. How many times have you raced down there?
Well, this is my 37th year racing in Baja, so this is the Baja 500. We didn't get too far. We had a little bottleneck problem, got stuck, kind of timed out. But this will be my 37th Baja year. So I started with my dad back in 1978. So when I was my first time in a truck, I was 15 years old.
Wow.
So, yep. So
He put some miles down.
I'll tell you one thing. This was one thing I have actually not done. Most of my Baja stuff, actually all of it, has been racing oriented or pre-running. So this is the first time I actually went down for that amount of time, was able to relax, and like I told
Enjoy
Cameron,
and take in all the things.
I didn't
around
have to
you.
make a decision. Everything was there. I mean, it was just it was perfect for me. I enjoyed it. I had nothing to worry
'Cause
about.
You're going
and
down there with a job and a task at hand. You go down there, your business is to pre-run, look at the course, and race day, and you do that. And when you're done, you leave. You're not out.
Well, plus he's manages his mechanics and his race team and his truck and the transports and all that.
So
So
yeah,
you don't really get to embrace the journey as much when you got that many responsibilities typically.
exactly. It is so true. So this was very enjoyable, very relaxing. I mean, it just I wouldn't have picked a better way to do it, and
Nice.
or anybody else to do it with. It was just, as far as I'm concerned, once a year, this has got to happen for me, because it's the time I can really enjoy Baja.
Really decompress and let it do its thing. Let the Baja magic sink in. Of course, you were driving in a 2016 Tundra Platinum super truck, so you
Corinthian leather.
you
Yeah.
could
Leather,
not
yes,
have
yes.
been in a better machine.
1,600 per kale thread count.
Yeah, that it was, it acted like a trophy truck. That thing was fun.
Yeah,
It was. I was quite impressed.
yeah.
And so yeah, it was enjoyable driving that. I was a little bit worried about it because of what it was, but I got a detail today and the thing looks good.
Oh, I
So
bet.
hey, can't
bet.
it was
I was
just
looking
way
forward
too much fun.
to bringing the Forerunner back with all this dirty, nasty Baja silt, and then it rains and looks almost new again. That took away the fun of taking it back all dirty, man.
Well, dude, you also washed your car in the middle of the trip.
At the taco stand,
Yes,
that was great.
How many scratches did you add to it on that one?
$2. People are rolling out. Dude, your truck is clean.
That's kind of a bad omen. Wash your car prematurely like that, isn't it?
Ooh, yeah.
So we had several people that had never been to Baja, I think 3 or 4, and they had an amazing time. So for the folks, we're already putting together. Everybody, I think, has already said we're back next year, folks. So if you're interested in doing this, we're going to be putting this together in not too long a time here, because we cap it off at a certain amount. It is an all Toyota trip, so we had Tundras, Tacomas, Forerunners, but
there was room for FJs and Camrys
Right.
and whatever you guys think you can make it in, right?
Camry
There
would
you
be
go.
fun.
As long as it's 4-wheel drive.
That's right.
FJ would be cool.
FJ'd be super fun.
Yeah.
I will basically say that I got to go in a Tacoma, and I think the Tacoma is so much fun. More fun even than a Tundra, because I've owned Tundras and I know what they're like, and I love them. They're powerful. They dominate, right? But the Tacoma doesn't dominate as the same way. It bounces around and whatnot, and it doesn't have the throaty power. But it's kind of like I compare it to riding a 450 or riding a 250. And riding a 250 can be a lot of fun, because you kind of have to ride it a little more than you do the 450. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It doesn't do all the work for you.
Yeah.
And so I had a blast absolute blast in this Tacoma. It's got a short wheelbase, you know, and it was so much fun. Fell in love with that
the
truck.
Eibach shocks that they set up for us on the vehicles. I mean, were like plush. The 4Runner, I mean, the thing was Cadillac, and it performed well out there. And again, the wheelbase worked good, climbing over the rocks.
Oh yeah.
You guys,
I'd say Dan hammered down on that thing pretty good.
Yeah.
He kept up with everyone. He was right there.
Yeah, you know, and I noticed too, every time I saw him in that truck, he had this grin on his face. It was ear to ear.
He did.
I mean, my God, I don't think this guy enjoyed it.
I was genuinely, I needed that as well. I needed to get out and kind of rail around a little bit. So it was so good for me. It was so good for this soul, this frame of this body right here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I had a great time. I just took my 2016 Tacoma down there. I bought a Toyota Escondido about 4 months ago. And
Was that your first trip down there with
that
you?
was, it was actually my second. I went down to Mike's, just a, one overnight trip, and I took it down there.
And that thing's yours?
Correct. It's me. Nice try. I took it down there
Carry on, son.
stock, and it did really well. And then I brought it home and wanted to just to be able to, put a little bit more down on the hammer, and so I put some a little bit more.
Saw some
suspension.
Camberg under there.
Yeah, I got some Camberg on there.
Nice.
I got a
Very nice.
some other shocks.
Shocks, tires, rims.
Shocks, yeah, I got the methods on there. 33s.
Baja Designs lighting the place up.
Yeah,
and,
it was phenomenal. And like I said, I think those Tacomas,
I rode in it. It was phenomenal.
pound per pound. I think, like I said, being a little bit smaller, I think it's like that 1-2 jab,
Right.
quick and punchy. So it was
Right.
fun, man. I had a blast.
It's one of those things. I mean, to get down and hammer it out on a Tundra would be amazing as well.
Sure, yeah.
So you really can't go wrong. And the guys on the 4Runner were raving the
Man.
whole time.
It's really, and it looks so good. Let me explain how good it looks in my driveway. It's really, really hard not to make it end up there on a permanent basis right now, literally as we speak, especially once it gets cleaned up again, because we might leave the whole sticker package on it, the Full Moon Baja Adventure rig, stickered up just the way it is on the for sale line coming up soon here. So
I'll tell you what, I'm not ready to let it go yet. I still have
You still got your stickers
I
on?
still got me stickers on there.
Yeah, I just let the rain wash it down, and I haven't touched it since. What do you guys think about kind of telling everyone listening and watching about the whole trip, kind of where we started, where we ended, maybe give them a cool perspective?
Well, I think that would be actually really cool to bring them into how we did our journey. And so we all met up here at Toyota Escondido. And then we headed from here to the Tecate border as a group. That was a lot of fun. Just driving as a group when you're all badged up, it had this sort of gumball rally vibe going on, and that was a lot of fun. We met up at the Tecate border, and then we headed over, what is that? Over to Ojos, not through the pine forest. What do you call that cut through right there?
La Rumorosa, then we
La
cut down
Rumorosa.
to, we went the Compadre Trail to Diaper Creek into Valley T, which next time we go back, I know that the catering was excellent, but if you guys haven't eaten at that taco shop,
taco stand by the
taco.
PMAX and Valley T is
yeah.
great too.
best tacos on the
Unbelievable.
peninsula.
Yeah, we did. We as he said, we cut through Valley T, and then from there we headed up to Mike's Sky Ranch, which was really a fun trip. That route up to Mike's Sky Ranch, they recently did a race there. That's a lot of fun, man. You can really book it into a couple of those corners and get going pretty good, and
Launch it through the creek 2, maybe 3 times.
That never
when
gets
you get
old.
there.
Yeah, 4.
Never gets old.
There's a fair amount of water flowing through there. I was pumped about
Yes.
that.
That was fun.
Yeah.
So we had a great night there. Mike was there, got to hang out with him, and boy, they fed us like kings, like everyone else did. And
Put the T-shirt on the ceiling. So when you go to Mike's Sky Ranch, look for the Full Moon Baja Adventure 2016
That's right.
T-shirt.
that's right.
If you've never been there, it's definitely a bucket list item to go there and just kind of see the history of off-road racing and off-road in general. I mean, there was posters from the 70s, 80s, 90s definitely cool to see a Bob Gordon poster up on the wall for sure right after that. So, I mean, just the history that place has.
I mean, our condolences, just not to interrupt you, but absolute condolences to the Gordon family. And if you're a fan of racing and off-road, then you know what happened. And I don't want to go over it here necessarily, but Robbie, our heart is with you. Our prayers are with you and your family. And I'm just, it's a very heartbreaking situation. Didn't want to not mention it. Sorry to interrupt you, Dan.
No problem.
Yeah.
So getting to see all the legends on the wall, that was cool. And then we departed out the next morning, kind of went out the back way through more of the cliffs, rocks, trail, Jim, right? Have you been that way before?
Through the back way out of Mike's?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
If you're going to call it an adventure, you got to go out the back of Mike's.
Yeah.
Yep, every time.
It was. And that's where some things were put to the test pretty good. And, some guys spotting for people at times and some really fun stuff there. So that was a cool thing on our way down to our next stop, which is Solo Sports, which we'll be talking to Kevin Trejo, the owner of that, here in just a little while.
We will. But for now, we are going to actually jump into a quick break. And when we're done, we'll be right back.
It'll rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do? One needs to know the best place he can go. Toyota of Escondido.
You already know that Toyota of Escondido has a huge selection of new and used Toyotas, right? But I bet they have a few more things you didn't even know, like a certified collision center. If you're ever in an accident, get your Toyota fixed with the proper parts it was meant to have at Escondido's only Toyota certified collision center.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
Looking to save money? Toyota of Escondido has a full refinance department. Keep your current car no matter the make or model and let Toyota of Escondido's refinance team help lower your monthly payment or current interest rate. Visit ToyotaEscondido.com and click the refinance tab.
Toyota of Escondido.
ToyotaEscondido.com. Shop for your new Toyota and much, much more.
I'm Phil, Mr. Wonderful Davis, and this is the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota of Escondido.
You're on, guys.
Oh, yeah, we're on, guys, and we're back here at Toyota of Escondido for the Action Sports Show. We're going to wrap up a little more of our trip and then introduce our first guest. So from there, we rolled into this amazing surf break, which we're not allowed to talk about, but then we skip right past that because we wouldn't want some kid from Oxnard to cause some trouble that I might run into down on the beach.
Might have to fill out a hurt feelings report later.
And then I might have to clue him in that he's dealing with someone from Silver Strand, and then he might get really, scared, and, we don't want to go through all that emotional journey with someone and then have Cameron have to talk the guy off a cliff. Anyways, hope you're listening. Don't ever mess with my crew again. Okay. Double shock us for the photo. So then we went to this place called Solo Sports, and I had never been there. You had been there, I believe, several times. Have you been there before?
I've never been there before. No.
The place is unbelievable, and I'm not gonna spend a lot of time on it now because we're gonna get into it later on in the show. But you have some time here in front of your computer. Look up a place called Solo Sports. This place is off the charts, and don't be afraid to jump on our Facebook or our social media and send us some messages. Send us some questions about Solo Sports, and we want to answer them. But we're going to be definitely stimulating your brain shortly. So, what I want to do, though, Dan, is introduce our first guest. So, would you do the honors, my friend?
This guy and his family go very deep into the roots in the surf industry, not only from surfing, but from the business, from his father, and he's a great friend of the show here. And our good buddy Josh Sleigh, welcome back to the show, man.
Yeah, what's up?
Not
Great
much,
to be here.
Just hanging out.
It's always going off here at the show.
It's great to have you here, Josh. To have you here on this Wild Tuesday with us. You saw us going down to Baja. I saw you liking some of the social. You definitely were on my mind. I was like, man, we really need to have Josh on this trip.
Yeah, I love Baja. Can't go wrong there.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to go wrong in Baja.
Open it up.
You've had some surf trips down there. Where have you been surfing down there?
Down by I think I saw one spot was Shipwrecks.
Sure, bro.
I remember back in '82, I think when my family, they raced the Baja 1000, and there used to be a ship there. I think we used to surf next to it when it first hit. I have like memories from back when I was really young.
May or may not still be there.
Yeah, there's parts and pieces, but in my mind, I remember a giant, just brand new ship.
Yeah.
And there was one side, there was a hole in it. And I remember my uncle's buddy, a set came and he got washed in and got all thrashed. It was pretty rad.
Washed in the boat?
rad.
Yeah, into the boat.
I think he could get out very easily now.
Yeah. But yeah, I love Baja. It's deep in my heart.
So, Josh, you are always inventing, creating, waking, surfing, towing, winching, and you've got some incredible stuff. And I'm one of your biggest fans. You got something new though that you got your hands on, literally got your hands on this thing.
Yeah, no, I'm very blessed. I'm very lucky. I have a friend we like to call him Joey Winch. He's been working really hard for about the last 5 years, and him and another fella, oh man, they've been working really hard, and so they found a way to be able to transmit over water to an electric motor via it's old. It's weird because they were able to mix old technology with new technology, and it was able to communicate and speak. So we have a winch, and we have it's electric winch, 74 volt lithium ion that powers this like electric motorcycle engine, and we have about 1/3 of a mile of rope, and then on a wakeboard handle. So we'll stick it on like a jetty. We'll stick it. I just did a show last weekend out here in Valley Center for skateboarders, and the skaters took the winch and jumped a Harley doing a burnout. And so, I mean, there's all kinds of things. You can use it for snowboarding. Me specifically, I like to use it for surf. That's where I go play. And it's revolutionary. They call it moto winch. And the throttle's in your hand. I mean, it's just when you have something in your hand and then you hit the throttle, when you're on a motorcycle, you're used to a certain amount of power and pull. And to have just a light something that had this amount of torque on your arm, your shoulder, your whole body, it's new. So for me, it was just incredible. The last 2 weeks, I've been testing it through all kinds of different scenarios, with just from sand, beaching it, grinding up the throttle, to punching through waves, or I was actually doubling waves from swell to swell. So I would be going out, I'd launch, do an air, and just make it into a double and land on the back of the next wave. And then you'd be going, and then you let go, and then you'd rip at the wave itself. So there, it's incredible.
That sounds unbelievable. I mean, it's hard to fathom that you were out there doing that, right?
My mind's thinking here. I'm like, so can you do like essentially almost like a towing with this thing too?
Right. Yeah.
Right.
It's a tow out device. It's a winch, and it's got a wakeboard handle, and you can ride anything you want to go. So with the electric motor too, it's instant power. It's instant torque. It's instant just inertia at your hands. Mm-hmm. And so I'm a surfer, so I'll put it on a jetty, or I'll put it on a pier, or I have Dan knows about it, but I have a pulley system with an anchor, and you put it outside. And now with the new electric motor, there's enough torque. Before I was running a torque converter on a gas motor, and this thing would just, because there's so many things happening, but it's hard to move it around. So now with this electric motor, I can backpack it. It's got the torque. So I've got this pulley device.
So how much more torque does it have? Because honestly, for the big guy,
oh, you could pull no worries.
Your gas one was not yanking
look at this, me. Yeah, this thing.
It was like trying to get up behind that my uncle's 32 horsepower outboard when I was wakeboarding, and I was just submerging.
Well, you got the skills, so it'll give you the thrills. Like,
Will it really
that's the
pull
best-
me up?
Yeah, it'll do it. It'll do it.
You really think so?
Oh, I know so.
Because I'm kind of frothing on that idea.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to try it now, aren't you?
But it is. It's really, and the thing is that okay with with GoPros and everything like that. For me, it turns doing production work, doing ride stuff, doing things as a professional surfer to where I can go down to the beach, I can set it up by myself, I can get my GoPro, get my pole out, get it on the throttle, and go flying at waves by myself and document the whole moment.
And don't forget your new Karma GoPro drone.
Or that weird check. There they see there's another checkbox that gets to be added to it because I mean it's all about technology. It's all about
Absolutely,
advancement.
yeah.
And
well, we found a jetty that we need to take you to. It's not in Baja.
Okay.
Okay. Not that jetty.
Not that jetty. Not the one in Baja.
I know of one down there that I'm pretty sure
no.
that's nothing of my world, but whatever.
Because it's
So
not there.
yeah. So you got
It's
a
off
spot.
the Oregon coast,
but
and it is a winch
Oregon
dream.
Oh, okay. Oregon.
That's gonna be perfect for Southern California waves though too, just because of how kind of traditionally our
High
waves are
tide, close to
mushy.
the beach.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a whole new game. It's a game changer. Like I literally, I mean, I've been working on it I've been doing this for over 16 years. I'm one of the pioneers of it, and it's just weird that in my lifetime, something that I dreamed about is now it's a full working apparatus. It's a device. The technology with batteries and electric motors and all these things are now available.
Because you're like 10 years deep into the winch movement.
Right. 16.
16 years into
16
into
into doing it. And so yeah, I can't even explain it. Really, I've got videos and stuff up. You can go to like Instagram at MotoWinch and check it out. All the most core board sport guys, Byerly in wake to we got Ben Horan, who's the top wake skater right now. The team, and then me and surf. I mean, it's a really elitist core group of guys that have been winching, and now it's going to be available.
Didn't you go do something with Jamie recently too?
I was just thinking that. I'm all man. Jamie O's been
So I worked with Jamie O'Brien on the new show. I got a little cameo surfing in it, and I built we built some radical stuff that needs to be tendered to and adjusted because it was just too hard. It was too gnarly. I mean, there was some stuff that even Jamie was looking at it and he's like, really? And then we had some kids that actually like 15-year-olds and stuff and went up and were grinding it. And, so there's a lot that's evolving with that.
So you know how they surf that wave when Waimea, when the Canal River blows out and they surf that wave?
Right.
Josh?
Yes.
So what if you winched from the river towards the ocean and launched that wave? How far is it to the shore break?
Jamie would probably tell you, it's going to be it can be done because it is water, but it's like wakeboarding. You got to have the knees, you got to have the board to be able to take the landing.
Sure. So if you send a like a young wakeboard dude with robo knees.
They freak though. That's just their way. Some of the wake guys are just they'll look at a normal wave and it's just, oh my God, it's like throwing them to Jaws.
Right.
Because they're used to a 2-foot boat wake. We're throwing a good 6 to 8 foot ramp at them.
What if you jumped it the other way towards
it's like a super jump.
That's insane.
What if you jumped it the other way towards the river?
Yeah, you could do that. There's ways to what I'm discovering right now is jumping swells.
Yeah.
So it's using different water flows as you can utilize it. Like I can come flying from the back of a wave.
Right.
And if it's got the right swell interval, I could do a step down.
Yeah.
Because I can hit that back of that wave because I have so much momentum and then launch it in to like the next swell. And that could be my landing. But everything within water has to be it's all about water flow and being able to read it. Not a lot of guys could read it. They're not doing what I've been doing.
Sure.
And now that I got the technology,
and you're not talking about double ups that are
10
pretty
years
close.
ahead of guys. What's that?
You're not talking about double ups that are pretty close.
No, I'm talking like I'm going to 20-foot gap it and then land into the tranning. Like when I was doing it the other day, we were going 5 foot to 5 foot. And it was the first time that I've been behind a device that has the amount of torque and then speed to allow me see that line, like in motocross when I ride. I saw a line where I was like, okay, I see it, and then gassed into it, and then loaded up the rail of the surfboard and came at that wave. And usually where guys would be letting go and going to rip it, I was launching the thing and then going off over to the next one. And that's where it was like, you can either blow your knees out or you land it and time it right, which I got lucky on, where I made it down the back of the wave where it was folding. So I was landing on the back side of it. So using that tranning.
Timing's got to be
critical.
Yeah.
I mean, it's everything in surfing. I mean, in any sport. I mean, really, timing. It's all crucial. It's all mathematical. It's all just being able to read the situation.
Well, speaking of timing,
it's
time for us to take a quick break. What do you got for me, Jim? We'll get you on the way
Don't
back.
go away. The Action Sports Show powered by Toyota Escondido. We'll be right back.
It'll rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do? One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
It's official. Once again, the truck pros at Toyota of Escondido sold more new Toyota trucks than any other Toyota dealer. That means more smart buyers like you trusted Toyota of Escondido's Truck Center to find them the right truck for work or play.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
It makes sense to buy from the truck sales leader. Let Toyota of Escondido customize your new truck to fit your active lifestyle. Choose from lift kits, custom tires and wheels, and much more. Come experience a whole new way to buy your next truck.
Toyota of Escondido.
Toyota truck sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
You're listening to Guy Talk, broadcasting live from the Sport Clips Haircuts locker room. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boxers or briefs?
Speaking briefly, boxers. Unless you're a boxer, then I'd go briefs. Next caller.
I want to find my nearest Sport Clips, but I don't want to ask for directions.
It's not technically asking for directions if you use sportclips.com to find your nearest Sport Clips location, and no one will ever know. Let's take a break for a word from our sponsor, Sport Clips, where guys go to get an awesome haircut while watching sports on TV. Throw in our relaxing massaging shampoo and our legendary hot steam towel, and you've got our MVP haircut experience. Your head will be as majestic as a freshly mowed Major League outfield. Try it today. Last caller, you're on the air with Guy Talk.
So how cool is getting a haircut at Sport Clips?
Oh, it's like stepping up to the plate and slam dunking a touchdown. That's all the time we have today. This has been Guy Talk, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy.
What's up? This is Brian Deegan. You're listening to the Action Sports Show. That's what's up.
You're on, guys.
We're on, guys, and the crew is all here today. So get back to me, Josh. Where were we?
We were
in Florida.
talking
We were talking about a dream wave.
Yeah, we were talking.
Don't give me all the details because we can't let everything out.
That's as much as I want to talk about.
You don't hear a lot of people talk about finding dream waves in Florida. No offense, Floridians. No offense, Kelly.
Yeah,
You're a
there's
great
bull
surfer.
sharks. There's
or
alligators,
Cleveland.
There's
Cleveland is pretty low on surf also, but
yeah. So, anyways, though, yeah, I did find something very special.
Very nice. Have you been? Because we have a plan actually, and we'll talk about it for a little bit real quick because it's part of Dan here's program in our plan for next year at Solo Sports. A night surfing competition.
Oh, you kidding?
And I think having the winch there would be unreal.
Yeah.
Guy.
Yeah, I'm down.
Guy. Unreal guy.
That sounds like
Yo,
a fun
Guy.
Yo.
So have you ever taken that thing out at night? And what do you think about mounting some battery powered Baja Designs lights on your surfboard and like in the winch and getting after it?
Yeah, I don't care.
Not scared?
Yeah, that's what I like to do.
Yeah, I think definitely doing that at Solo Sports is going to be pretty something cool.
Yeah, there's a oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, everything's just getting started. And that's the thing too, is like, this is, it's a motorsport. Like literally we got a new motorsport on our hands. And it's not just surfing. Like I use it to hit waves, but like, I mean, it changes the inside of where people paddle out. It turns it into a slalom course with off-road obstacles on your surfboard.
Right.
Oh, paddleboard endurocross.
You could
type thing?
paddleboard. You could. There's.
There you
I
go.
mean,
Wow.
It's really changes everything because I mean, if you think about it, what do you want to get pulled on? I mean, and then it's like, well, you want to hot rod them out. You could do like full high speed terrain blast and stuff. And I mean, there's all kinds of, we're just talking water. Like we haven't even gotten into the park aspect of snowboarding or the urban terrain style stuff, because before guys were getting shut down because of the noise factor of motors on winches. So there's a whole nother, like,
you've taken that out of the program too.
Yeah, that's completely gone. I mean,
The silent assassin.
it's really
like there's gonna be a
show
lot
up and blow up is basically like what we've been saying with all the boys. It's like it's a show up and blow up type deal where like this last 2 weeks where it was all suddenly I'm down at Tamarack. I'm on the beach. I'm getting whipped by myself on this device myself at these waves. I'm whipping myself here. And I'm going, what is going on? And running back down the beach and getting another pull and whipping back out. And then, you got a kid that's over here with an RC truck that's an electric motor, but he's, controlling it with his car. He's tearing the whole beach up off-road style. And it was kind of a moment for me where I was like, wow, this is really it. This
relates.
is the future. Because, I mean, the one I didn't, I seen the lifeguards. I waited till they were off work, of course, out of respect. But like, I'm really doing nothing wrong. It's just an electric battery that it's like on my phone or anything that is electrical nowadays. I mean, so
They'll find a way to say something's wrong.
I don't think so. I don't know.
Spinal.
I had a
Spinal.
Spinal.
Yeah, I had an
My
80-year-old.
back, it's broken.
Spinal.
Yeah.
That's nothing. That's
Yeah.
nothing.
But going
Right.
back to it though, with the event, I think why not? I mean, be rad.
Yeah, definitely the potential that event has.
I mean, if you're there and you bring the winch, then we'll do a winching event also.
You guys would want to do it yourself. You fire
Absolutely.
up the
Yeah.
gig.
No.
If you know how to ride a wakeboard or a board or anything, we can put it, and then you're going to be going. And if you can make it over the wave, and you got that speed to make it over, then you get to go play. But
With a lot of unridden waves we go through at night too.
And the interesting thing about solo sports is there's actually an island that sits out like in the lineup.
yeah, I
And
seen
so
the photo.
you
today,
could plant that
so-
on the
Yeah.
and pull straight out, and your angle would be, because this one break doesn't really get surfed that much because it's kind of like this.
Where you could just come from the island and walk
Yeah.
left like 20 feet and
Or you
catch
just
it in.
anchor and then put the winch line through it, and then you just create your access.
There
Because
you
It's
go,
all
there you
about
go.
just creating angles with it.
Yeah.
So it's just having enough angle. Or
Have you run it
pitch.
through an anchor with
Yeah, it's got it.
Interesting.
It's all the future. It's all now. To where there's no more I'm stuck on a jetty.
right?
I can go down, set my anchor, throw my line through, hook up the moto winch, and I go throttle myself into some joy. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. You do it by yourself. Like you can backpack it. Like I backpacked it down to Riviera
Yeah.
in San Clemente during the last week just to do it, just to get the box on my back and the battery and my board. And we did that and pulled that off. And then I was like, okay, 40 pounds. You can work up to that to where you could probably hit some pretty special spots that most of you would never get to.
Right.
And then with GoPro, you go document it, or whatever camera, you go document and
All by
then
yourself.
By yourself. I mean, it's really neat. So yeah, that's.
Well,
yeah.
you've been on the leading edge of so many things. Have you seen this? Have you seen this surfing drone? This flying drone.
What?
The drone the guy flies on.
Oh, so the one that he's got his skimboard?
No. Not the drone that he tows behind.
Okay.
But that the guy stands on and flies around.
Is
in
it the
air.
guy?
Oh, the air surfer.
The air
The
surfer.
the
Silver surfer guy,
of
kinda,
air.
yeah.
Yeah, I seen it. Would you put me on that? Have you ever done the
Well, that's what
jet
I'm saying.
thing?
Is what
The jetpacks?
Yeah, the jetpacks. So imagine getting on that thing and then just lawn darting somewhere.
I watched Sonny do that on the Rip to Cabo, and he Sonny's got skills on a board. You know, he looked like he was struggling with it a little bit, but yeah, it looked like a lot of fun.
Yeah, I would say the lawn dart. That's all I can think of.
Pretty much.
That's what you visualize.
Lots of that going on.
So you've been surfing also. How have you been doing just paddle surfing? You've been shaping and you've been making wake surfboards. So
yeah,
catch me up on some of the other components of what you've been up to.
Yeah, so I've been deep in board design and working with a cutter, an engineer, on developing different boards. And then with this whole new chapter that we just turned 2 weeks ago, I'm really getting into like knifey boards, because the speeds that I'm going at with this new winch is allowing me to, I don't have to paddle, so I can really refine like my boards at different speeds that I'm flying at, because I want to make it through that arc and that turn, and I don't have to paddle it. So size is changing, widths are changing. Gosh,
you definitely don't need all that volume.
You don't need that volume. It's kind of weird. It's like going to the big wave tow out thing that my dad was really into in the islands and stuff with the couple. Like, he used to make the tow boards, and it's going back to that kind of design for surf. And so that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of board designs, and I've been doing a lot of wake surfing. So I've been building a lot of boards with this company. I got Sleigh Boards, where they're going out, and this year I've had an incredible season. This one fella is named Aaron Witherall. He made some podiums and pro on my boards, which was super cool. This another fella, Jesse Baba, he's 5th right now. He's right in the top in amateur in the world. So they're getting ready this weekend to go compete out in Florida. But my athletes have done extremely well, and the board designs have improved on that area too for boat surfing. And yeah, that's kind of been my two.
You gonna go out to Carlsbad at all with the Lions guys?
I haven't in a bit, but you know, those I always see them playing. I've been pretty busy and focused with this new winch. It's just for me, that's really where I get stoked, because it's wake up in the morning, get my coffee, drop my kid off, go straight to the beach, handle business.
How much has your wave count increased?
Oh, wow.
This is going to gone through the roof.
I mean, because there's no tension pulling it out. So when you get to it, you're not pulling on the torque converter. I mean, there's just free spool. You just da-da-da-da-da. So I found out, I mean, I don't have to earn a turn now. I'm jumping for joy, running for a turn to get back out and then hit the button and get the line taut. Like you watch it's weird. Like you're holding on, and you watch the line start coming in, and wham, it hits you. And it's all it's just new. It's really interesting, because now all of a sudden you're using your brain in a different way. It's a control device.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, being a surfer and then knowing, just being around motors all my life, I know what's going on, but it still gets me every time. Because I'll be throttling it, and here it comes, and here comes that turn, and wham, and it hits, and you have to let off, and then you're like, okay, whoa, I'm in control. and then you just start, well, you don't know, but what happens is you end up just like looking at the ocean differently.
Oh man, I mean, how many times have you been surfing and you hit a section where the wall, this wall's up on you, wave closes out on you, like 10 feet down the line, you're like, oh, I just want to get just there so you could punch this button.
You could
get you to the next section.
Yeah, you can do that now.
Or slow up if you need to.
You can
let it develop.
Yep, and that's what we were working on just recently. There's all those little things that are really important. So it's neat. I mean, especially being a test guy, it's absolutely incredible. But yeah, it's all in the thumb.
So what about the what about the battery life? I mean, what's it take to charge that? Do you have extra batteries with you? Is it running on a car battery? What is it?
Tesla technology?
Yeah, it's lithium ion battery. It's a 73 or 74 volt lithium ion battery. It's like yay big. You wouldn't think that this thing could put out that much charge. Like when you hook it up, it's like pop. You're like, oh, okay. But it runs for, we got like 50 pulls out of it.
Oh, wow. 50
and 50? Maybe it was something like that. Joey will know. I wish he was here, but if I know they ran it all day. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll go and I can get like in one session, I think it was in 30 minutes. I was probably getting a wave a minute or something, because I mean, you're flying out, you hit the wave, and then you're back on the beach running. Yeah, maybe around you wave a minute. You could probably.
I think Cameron was on
depending
pace
how
for that at
close it
Solo
is to the
Sports at one
beach
point.
Yeah,
or
right.
something. But I was doing real short like runs. Like I was maybe 500 feet away, just real quick. Like one guy was tripping because he was up on the jetty, and I'm coming flying at him on the jetty, and he's thinking I'm just gonna splatter. And then I release last second, and then I'm at the wave, and then cracking and turning and responding back to the beach. So, but there's all kind. It's
cool seeing the fire and the passion built up in him. Just like he's so giddy about it, It's like, man.
Yeah, everybody is like when you're there. I mean, there's not a person that's doesn't get involved. That's what's really neat is people that have never looked at the ocean. They go there to maybe take a walk, or just to get outside, or they're just trying to meditate. They're all suddenly engaged. As soon as they see someone flying across the water and then something either crash or air or turn or something really spectacular goes down, they're just, whoa, what is that?
Right.
What is that? And it's just, that's the whole topic. And then it's just, oh my gosh. And then we're like, should we shut down? And they're like, no.
I want to see it again.
Yeah, I want to see it again. And that's what's really neat right now, I think, too, is that 16 years ago, you were done if they came up. Nowadays, I think with technology and all these things people are really yearning for something fresh and new. They're more open-minded to it. So that's the good thing about now, too.
Yeah.
And that it's quiet, too. So that's a good thing.
Yeah.
I love that part of it. Because you can go stealth.
Yeah, give them one.
So where does it go from here? Like, what's the stage it's in? What's your next step?
Okay, so right now I'll have one in about 2 weeks with all the new changes that we made, and then they should be available after the first of the year. So after the first of the year, I'm thinking from what they were letting me know about. But I'll have mine in a couple weeks, and that's all I care. I'm counting the seconds. Yeah, just to go and ride. And then there's so many spots just locally, like up in Laguna, and oh gosh, there's just so many waves. I mean, there's Mexico. I mean, that's a whole nother plethora of incredible new spots that probably have never been surfed. Because the closeout spots, you're not looking to have to paddle to get up and then come in at it. I mean, how many times have you seen that closeout wave if you surf and you go, oh my gosh, if I could have just had that section. Whereas with this whole new moto winch deal, that's just it. It slings you out to it. You're yoked at that wave, and you're going to let go, and you get to have that wave that you looked at.
I'm just thinking about those walled up sections on those beach breaks that are hollow, and you could just hit this thing.
Yeah, you
and
pull up in
ride that barrel.
Yeah, you could probably, this thing, it has the torque. That's what I'm saying. It's so nuts. Is this thing's got like a blower on it or something. It's like you're like, whoa, can I get any more of this? And then it's like, oh my god, I've never gone this fast. I mean, and then boom, it's just continuous.
So have you had to kind of redesign the boards to manage that kind of approach?
Well, that's what I'm working on. Because now it's like a whole new ball game. Like that's what I'm going through right now.
And what about waves of consequence? Have you had it like out in some double overhead type waves?
I have not. Because I've only tested this new product the last 2 weeks. And Ben's done it in wake skating. So we're the only two athletes in the world that have ever even had a chance to get on this thing. And it's really cool. He'd kill me right now. Kali'i, I think his name is. Oh man, I'm sorry, brother. Anyways, he is frothing to get on it, and I want him on it. Like I think he's the guy. Him and Garrett Mack, him and G Mac, and all those guys hang out. And who knows what those guys are going to do.
Well, now you're talking serious consequence, because I just was saying double overhead California style, but
you
translated that into some Hawaiian 90 foot.
I'm not that guy. I don't want to be that guy.
I was thinking like
Khalid.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking like a little rincon or something where you got the pier and the deal where you could set it up like on the pier and a big point like that, what it would be like to have out in a place
Oh my
like
gosh,
that.
what about like Scorpion Bay?
Oh,
Right? I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a whole
Or
new.
Solo Sports is like,
Yeah,
saying.
I know. That's what we're talking about. But that's what you get the concept. So that's like the whole. That's the reality for most people.
at this Solo Sports place, which
Yeah.
you're going to hear us talk about later, but
Yeah.
I'm frothing about it. They have literally 40 longboards there that you can ride anyone you want. They have like 30 short boards there you can ride anyone you want. They have like 20 different killer kite surf boards, or they have like 40 windsurf boards. You can grab whatever you want. They have like 20 mountain bikes. You can pick up whatever one you want and go ride. Like, your product fits in really well with their whole mentality.
And
like
they
go
have the Baja
have fun.
Fog too.
What's that?
And then when you're done,
Oh, yeah.
they have the Baja Fogs.
What do you mean the Baja Fogs?
It's
I'll let
You'll hear more about that
Yeah.
later. We don't want to get too
I'll
into
let
it.
Kevin.
because Getting ahead of ourselves. We
making
do.
me happy over here. What's going on?
On that note, we do need to go to break. So tell everybody where they can catch you real quick, Josh.
Yeah, just go to Instagram. It's just Sleigh Josh, SLEIGH.
It's not just Sleigh Josh. It's freaking Sleigh Josh.
Sleigh Josh.
Okay.
Because they can't get Josh Sleigh.
Who has that?
But anyways, so yeah, that's where they can find me, or go to MotoWinch. Check it out at MotoWinch. I mean, really, that's incredible stuff, man. I mean, you guys are the future is for you guys. And then Sleigh Boards, you can just go to @Sleigh Boards.
Thanks for coming.
All right, we're going to get
Appreciate
Toyota
it.
Escondido Action
And-
Sports out to one of these moto winches with you and put together a shoot or do something to support what you're doing there, because I know you're working
Yeah.
really hard, and we definitely want to do that.
Yeah, no, it's wow, that's huge. Thanks, guys. Oh yeah, that's incredible.
And hopefully you can hang out and check out a little bit of Solo Sports and find out more
Yeah,
about
no,
that too.
I'm jazzing.
And Jim,
Groovy, jazzy, funky.
Jim, I just got to tell you. Rick rolled again, folks. The Action Sports Show. We're only halfway there. We're going to talk to Kevin Trejo from Solo Sports when we come back. Don't go away.
It'll rock your brain, ruin your good name. Take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do?
Catch the Action Sports Show powered by Toyota of Escondido Tuesdays, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN 1700, featuring Jim Holtus, the host, the agent Dan McGranahan. Get fired up by amazing guests from the world of action sports, such as Supercross star Cooper Webb, UFC title contender Dominic Cruz, FMX superstar Robbie Madison, surfer Tori Meister, musician Graham Nancaro, and more. The Action Sports Show brings you the biggest names in the action sports world. Tune in every Tuesday, 6:30 p.m. right here on ESPN 1700.
This is Shannon Campbell.
Hi, this is Walker Evans.
Big Daddy here. This is Jeremy McGrath.
Hello, this is Jay Leno.
This is Mario Andretti. This is Carl Rennesetter. This is Rick Dale with Rick's Restorations.
This is Paul Tracy.
Hey, this is Sonny Garcia.
This is Trigger Gum, Daredevil. My name is Paul Thacker.
Robbie Gordon here. This is Ryan Arciero of Arciero Miller Racing.
I'm Ryan Friedlinghouse, CEO of West Coast Customs.
This is Kerry Hart.
Hey, I'm Tanner Faust.
Travis Pastrana here from Nitro Circuit, and you're listening to the Action Sports Show.
You're on, guys.
Oh, yeah, we are back right here on the Toyota Escondido Action Sports set, and we've done a little bit of a switcheroo for our second guest. My man Dan, tell me what our second guest is all about.
Man, this is the owner, proprietor. That's all, folks, of Solo Sports, where we were just so blessed to take part of here the last few days, and he's here to tell us all about it. Kevin Trejo, welcome to the show, sir.
All right. The Kevin Trejo.
I feel like we're right back at camp.
Hey,
I know, man.
Just need a Baja Fog and some lobster tacos.
Oh, man.
Maybe some lobster, too. Some lobster would be good, yeah.
Awesome.
The pictures
Roll
I
that
show
mic up a
people
little bit.
of the lobsters, we had two lobsters that were obviously the shot callers of the bay.
They call them burros.
Yeah.
Burros.
And then we had, the other coolers and wagons full of lobster, too.
Yeah, we don't mess around. When they come to town, they come in wagons.
So lobster season had just opened.
Yes, right when
And
you guys showed up.
Is it typical when it just opens? It like there's plenty to be
Yeah,
had.
they're frothing at the mouth to
Yeah.
So it was
as
like the
many as
day
they can.
before, right? Because we saw
16th.
Yeah, so
Starts on the
we saw
16th.
one of the Pongas when we stopped on the way in get stopped by the federales
the
or whatever.
lobster police.
That's 'cause it was the
water,
15th.
and they were checking them,
That's
right?
right.
Making
You're not
sure they
supposed to
weren't
be
a
out
day
there.
early.
Funny story, because we saw 3 Pongas, and one of them actually made a break for it and ditched the lobster police and
Came flying onto the beach like at full speed.
Truck backed up.
I
threw
love
it
how
on
they
the-
load these things. They don't put the boat on the trailer. They put the trailer under the boat.
Yeah.
Hey, it's a rule of numbers, right? You just got to be faster than the slowest guy in your group.
That's right. Get those things out of there.
So, I mean, the 3 actually might have been working together. So the other one might have taken the
They got boarded.
intentional boarding to let the other one through. These guys are smarter than you might think.
Well, they are.
Not their first rodeo, huh?
No. These are creative, crafty individuals down there. So, Solo Sports, Punta San Carlos. Punta San Carlos.
Not to be confused with San Carlos.
Which is different than Punta San Carlos.
Yeah, there's several San Carloses. So
how far down is it? Because we were off-road going every which direction, and I would basically...
Punta San Carlos is about a third of the way down the peninsula on the Pacific side.
Okay. So it's still Baja Nor?
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely.
How far
San
from the line?
Quintin, El Rosario is the closest town. So how far from where?
The line.
The line.
The Baja Sur, Baja Nor line.
Oh, man, we're still a couple hundred miles, several
Okay,
hundred
okay.
miles. Yeah,
Gotcha. Gotcha,
It's really, I think El Rosario is 222 miles south of the border on the road. So
Like you said,
it's
it was
not-
hard to tell from the 8 different directions that we came from and over the mountains and through the woods and all that stuff.
To grandmother's house we go.
Even though it's still Baja Norte, it's still the never, never, as Cameron likes to call it.
It is in the middle of nowhere. And because to the southeast of us, there's no way to get, there's no roads, and you can barely walk it. It's so cliffy. So it's sort of an out and back from El Rosario. And because of that, we're kind of like on the Lost Coast, and people don't bother coming out. People want to travel through somewhere, not necessarily drive a dirt road for several hours out and then have to drive that same road back.
But that is a lot of what retains the magic of the whole
Absolutely.
thing.
Yes.
Absolutely. The Mexicans have a incredible saying. It's good roads bring bad people and bad roads bring good people. And we've just been incredibly fortunate to have nothing but incredible people end up at our spot.
One of the things I noticed when we were there is there's quite an international flair to this place. How are you so well known in all these countries?
Well, Punta San Carlos is one of the top 3 wave sailing locations on the planet. So for windsurfing or kiteboarding, you can ride a wave for a mile. And so it's world famous in the wind sport arena. The whole Keepa Maui is probably the mecca of windsurfing.
Sure.
And riding waves, because they have both. But Punta San Carlos that's where the international draw comes from. We've had plenty of contests over the years, videos come out, as well as magazine articles. And anybody who sees that kind of stuff is like, I got to go to that place.
So I'm looking at this long point, and I'm thinking, man, if the swell was big here, like, can it connect?
To the
and is it
fish camp.
surfable? Or is it only like
No, you can surf it for hundreds of yards.
Okay.
We've caught waves, hit the stopwatch, ride the wave, hit the stopwatch, kick out, and it's nearly 2 minutes.
Wow.
Windsurfing, you have a little bit of extra power to get around sections that, because we don't have Josh's winch.
Sure.
So you can make waves that you probably, Kelly Slater might make those sections, but most of us don't.
Right.
And then kiteboarding is the same. We have power, so we can make those sections. Stand-up paddleboarding now is making it doable as well, because you can get a few strokes in and make some sections that you
Sure, you got a big board, you can get in front
but
of yourself.
the legs
can only handle so much.
Sometimes you ride a wave for 2 minutes on a surfboard, and now you got a 15-minute paddle.
Right.
So we need a dozen winches.
Yeah.
Stat.
Yeah. And I got to say, I was so stoked to see Josh, because I've been a friend of the family for 35 years.
Yeah.
You know, dad used to shape all my boards, and mom would take care of us at the beach with all kinds of food and drinks to keep us hydrated. So super stoked.
Sleigh
on that.
family's legendary.
And I remember seeing a video of him doing his, you know, I haven't seen Josh in 25 years.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing videos of him doing the winch at Oceanside.
Yeah.
And not realizing, you know, until we spoke just before the show that was 16 years ago he was doing that.
Yeah.
Wow. And I saw that and I go, wow, you know, and to see him still at it, that rings home with me because we're on year 29 at San Carlos. And
wow,
you know, to see that tenacity and the drive and the passion, you see it in him. It's just like that's what keeps us going, you know.
So 29 years ago, you're just on in a VW Bug on an adventure. Like, how do you stumble into this place?
Well,
Toyota truck, maybe.
Yeah, I wish Toyota made them. But I had an airport shuttle bus that was 4-wheel drive.
Nice.
And that was the first San Carlos vehicle. But you know, the way it all started was a friend of mine was in the windsurf industry.
Who's
mine?
Yeah.
Oh my God. You know what?
Wow. Our guest.
I am so sore from doing push-ups.
We have our guest is now doing push-ups. We dropped the M word.
9 + 1. Yeah, I feel like I'm back at camp. This is great.
Honor, right?
You guys have no idea. This game is brutal.
I feel like this should be the new game for the show as well.
I am getting stronger.
The game's always, once you're in the game, you can't get out.
Yeah.
So anyway, a friend of this kid's was in the, is that a Wiener Schnitzel balloon? No. Was in the windsurf industry. And they were trying, I was a surfer. They were trying to get me to windsurf. And I just protested. I'm like, you know, the only thing I knew of windsurfing was the girl doing the splits, you know, inside the sail and in the harbor. So they kidnapped me one day, and we drive 2 hours out to Palm Springs. And there's some settling ponds out there where the windmills are at Whitewater.
Settling?
Yeah, well, settling. So they fill them with the Colorado River water, percolates through to fill the underwater ground tables in Palm Springs for all the golf courses.
Not settling the stuff you make bombs out of.
Settling.
Okay.
Filters through.
Gotcha.
But guys are going 30 miles an hour on these windsurfers. I'm like, whoa, that's windsurfing? So learned how to windsurf. And then, of course, being a surfer, it was like, well, where can we ride waves?
Sure, absolutely.
So kind of a famous windsurfer guy, friend of ours, told us about San Carlos, and didn't call it San Carlos. And you could just see in his eyes that this place was something special. So at the end of the conversation, it's like, well, so where is this? Oh, I can't tell you.
Oh, it's Canada somewhere.
It's like, yeah.
Right.
We were like, well,
Up off
no,
the
this
Oregon
place
coast,
doesn't
Kansas.
exist. And, you know.
Oxnard people.
So after begging and pleading and beating him up a little bit, he said, okay, look, I'll tell you. You can't take anybody. Can't tell anybody. No photos. No articles. Yeah, no problem. So I go there. This is in '85, and it was everything he said. It's just you guys were there. It was a magical place. Knew I'd be back, and I respected the secret spot. But came back the next year, and there's people from Switzerland and Florida and New York, and I'm like, okay, well, this is not a secret spot anymore. And I've been running ski tours to Mammoth in my 4-wheel drive airport shuttle bus, and I'm like, I'm running, you know, I'm going to run some tours down there. So that's how the whole thing started, and it was you know, pull up. I mean, there's nothing in the you drive a dirt road for 60 kilometers out there, 60, and there's nothing. So you just set up in the dirt, you know, set up your camp, stay your week or 2 weeks, and then pull out. And did that for about 10 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
How many
Before
years?
you built, oh my gosh.
This is crazy.
Hey, while Kevin's doing his push-ups,
More push-ups.
something that I learned about Kevin.
What?
We
Two.
did
You
the
know,
Mammoth-
you're a real piece of work, gods.
Yeah.
We're all
Vicious.
characters.
7.
You're vicious.
Dan is
But-
even like uncomfortable with this.
I don't talk anymore.
He actually showed me some old footage of him windsurfing a snowboard at Mammoth back in the day with that.
Oh yeah. Well,
He doesn't just do it on the water.
no, you know, I started in the early 80s running tours to Mammoth.
Right.
I was all skiing back then. And then once I got into windsurfing, there was a guy named Carl Meinberg, lived in Mammoth, and he was actually windsurfing on skis. He had a couple, rotating joints on his skis and with the crossbar, and you could mount the sail.
Yeah.
And so we did a bunch of that, and then we started doing it on snowboards when snowboards came around, and it's just it's like Josh's winch. The feel, the power, the rush,
oh yeah, very much same.
It's addicting. So, and if you don't have any wind, grab the winch. If you don't have either, and the waves are good, you just go surfing.
So in that first 9+1 years, you didn't build any facility. You didn't put down any structure. You didn't buy the land.
No.
When did all that really turn?
I wasn't very liked in the early years. There was a lot of
animosity.
Mainly San Diego windsurfers, but windsurfers in general that go through the effort to get to this place, to experience this place. That's the last thing they want is a tour bus to show up with 10, yahoos in it,
sure,
ready to go. So it took a long time to prove that we did things right. There's a lot of fear involved when all of a sudden the tour company shows up. It's like, oh no, what are they going to do? Are they going to buy the land? Are they going to build a hotel? Are they going to, bring hundreds of people? They don't want it to turn into Maui where, it's crazy to get a wave because there's so many people. And Baja, as you guys all know, has a way of weeding itself out from the people that don't deserve to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And, I think I was looked at as a vehicle that let people shortcut that whole earning the right, the rite of passage to be there kind of thing. But over the years, we did do things right. We took care of the land. We actually were an asset to the whole area. And then I met the landowner and leased a little bit of property, and then that led into me leasing the whole 2 miles of the coast by a mile inland. So it's a pretty sizable chunk of beachfront property.
That sure is,
And,
man.
What was the
How does
first step in the building process? Like what came first?
Well, actually, this is Baja in general sees a lot of people that come and stay months at a time. And San Carlos as well, Punta San Carlos, guys would come and they're going to stay 2 or 3 months. At this point in time, I think I was coming either once a month or every other week. And there was a guy there that we befriended that was staying for multiple months. And, I'm bringing barbecues and tents and sleeping pads, all this stuff back and forth. And I'm like looking at him like, can I just put all this behind your van and put a tarp over it and I'll be back in a week. And so that's when it started and just went, oh, so much, I don't have to haul it all the way home, clean it all, get it prepped and bring it back. And then so I bought a little trailer and kept a trailer there and just started throwing anything in the trailer. And that was the evolution of the building, so to speak. We put a little plywood next to it to block the wind, and we could put a shower there or a little area to wash the dishes. And then we'd park a vehicle next to it, put another couple pieces of plywood for storage of something. And it just kind of grew. That whole back wall of ours, we call the Great Wall.
Right.
Started out as a trailer with sheets of plywood that we'd pull the vehicles up to. And then I bought a trailer and, it started growing to now it's 100 and something feet wall. And then of course we started building the game room, the board storage area, with all these boards we have.
It is pretty crazy to go down there and then walk on the other side of that wall.
Yeah.
Because from one side, it's all rugged Baja, whatever. Then you walk on the other side and it's just this very resort.
Yeah.
Straight out of the Point Break, producers designed this thing or something.
Right. Like a set.
Totally.
Yeah. Well, everything that we've done has just come out of necessity. We're off the grid. And there's no electricity, there's no water, so
when did you build all those outhouses? And genius to spread them out like a half a mile or 100 yards apart or whatever.
Well,
that was yeah. Hey,
felt like a mile.
When I was going a lot to San Carlos and running my tours, it was kind of the Wild West when I first started, and there were no outhouses, and not everybody knew how to go handle their business, right? You know, a lot of guys knew, you know, you bring a shovel, you bring your toilet paper, bring a lighter, and you walk way out in the desert, dig a hole, do your thing, and burn the toilet paper and bury it. But after years and years of people not doing that, it was pretty disgusting. As well as there was no trash. I mean, there was just trash all over the desert. The place was pretty ugly. So when I actually got the first lease on a smaller parcel, we're like, let's clean this place up. You know, we put in the outhouses, which at first people would burn them down. They didn't want anything permanent, because that was the first step towards growing.
Oh, so you mean like people from California would come?
Oh
and
yeah,
burn them
the
down.
Mexicans loved us. Yeah, the regular guys that would come and enjoy the waves and the wind.
Yeah,
and then we the guys,
Oxnard dudes, my boys.
Some and there were some great people as well, and those people helped us. We picked up all the trash. We built a dump. It's like, hey, we want to spend time here. Why do you guys wanted a big trash heap?
Yeah,
you know, and I couldn't understand why you wouldn't want an outhouse for sanitary reasons. You know, when people go out and they're doing their thing in the desert and not taking care of it, you know, the wind's offshore, and you might be sitting in your camp, and you know, a piece of toilet paper comes flying by and sticks on your awning pole, and you're like, you know, really, is that a piece of toilet paper? So, but in doing that, the people that didn't really like us or appreciate what was going on started coming over to ours. They're like, hey, this is great that you're cleaning up, you know, being good stewards of the land and the people. And now most of them end up staying with us. It's just, you know, much easier.
Do you want to take a break?
Time to take a break.
We're going to take a break. Let's do it, folks. The Action Sports Show, powered
More
by
push-ups.
Toyota Escondido. We'll be right back.
I'm ready. More push-ups.
It'll rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do?
Hi, folks. Jim here, and I want to talk to you about Slime Tire Sealant. Racers in all classes of motorcycles, ATV, bugs, cars, trucks are using Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flats, including pre-runners. Smart teams are even using slime inside their trailer tires, too. I mean, how many tires do you have? Think about it. Do you have motorcycles, ATVs, cars, trucks, trailers, wheelbarrows, motors, and bikes? How many flats have you had in the last year? Maybe the answer is none. Maybe you're due for one. How much time and money can flat tires cost you? How about just the peace of mind? Nobody likes flat tires at all. Just pre-install Slime Tire Sealant to prevent flat tires. Slime is a liquid tire sealant that easily installs after taking out the valve core of the tire with the tool provided. Once inside, slime seeks out and seals punctures instantly and repeatedly, and is guaranteed for 2 years. Slime is non-toxic, non-combustible, water-soluble, and does not void tires' warranties, unlike that other stuff in the can. Go for Slime in the gallon for all your off-road tires. If it isn't green, it isn't slime. Put trust in your tires. Slime, there's no stopping you.
One name you should know, the best place you can go, Toyota of Escondido.
It's true. The best new cars make the best used cars. And Toyota of Escondido is once again #1 in Toyota certified used cars and trucks. Feel confident driving with the peace of mind of a 160-point inspection and Carfax report.
Toyota of Escondido. Toyota of Escondido.
You also get a 12-month or 12,000-mile comprehensive warranty from certified purchase date, plus a 7-year or 100,000-mile limited powertrain warranty from original date of sale when new. Please ask for complete warranty details. Toyota certified sales leader for San Diego County for 2014.
Hey, this is Jason Ellis. You might have heard of me, you might not have. I don't really care. And you're listening to the Action Sports Show. It's great. I always listen to it.
You're on, guys.
We're on, guys.
Hey, hey, hey.
Welcome back to the Action Sports Show. If you all are just joining us and you're on the website, hey, follow the social media. It's at TE Action Sports. Keep track of all these wonderful adventures to solo sports and everything else that we're doing at all times at TE Action Sports. And you can also subscribe to the podcast, and that ensures that we inject great things right into your brain each and every week, meaning the Action Sports Show, and you can catch it anytime. Jim, sorry.
It's like vaping things into your brain.
Yeah, but vaping is just like, gosh, man. The only thing dumber than vaping is calling it vaping.
Right.
It's.
I just want to get some 4-gauge plugs, and
I'm gonna go suck on a big electrical box that blows out a smoke bigger than my chimney stack and smells like maple syrup and pancakes. That's it's just really cool.
All right, enough of that.
Job security for this guy.
You're right. Hey, thanks. You pulled me out. I had a rough night, and you gave me the magic pill. And
yeah.
Next thing you know, I was never mind.
I was joking.
What is the biggest you've seen that place hold, by the way? Like wave size, and can you really get up to the top of that point does it ever really come all the way through?
I'm not talking anymore. No more push-ups. So we get solid. The biggest is the Northwest Swells.
Okay.
And
when does that happen?
That's wintertime. So
okay.
November through February-ish.
Yep.
Into March. So when Jaws is breaking, when Todos Santos is breaking, I probably shouldn't say this, but there's a couple reefs nearby us that get really, really big.
Okay.
I've seen 25 to 30 foot faces right in front of the island.
Wow.
And we'll tow surf that.
So have you had some skis out there?
Oh yeah.
He's had some legends out there.
Oh yeah.
Surfing that.
Oh yeah. It's the real deal.
Because I was looking around, if there was any skis, I definitely would have got in on some of that.
Well, you didn't go in the garage.
Was there skis there?
Oh man,
my lord!
Yeah, get little baby Joey to take you out, tow you in.
Tell us when we're on the mainland, brah.
Yeah. And get up to the point. You mean get up to the point where the island
in front of
is?
the island? Yeah, basically that.
Oh yeah.
That right? Like I saw most of the people. There's a lot of water moving around out there. It's a little difficult to really navigate where that thing's going to come through. A couple of them come through and rifle real good.
That point actually is where the land, the north part of that point, if we'll call it the north part, actually faces to the northwest.
Okay.
Once you get onto the southeast side, it faces southeast. So there's a lot of water moving if there's more than one swell direction. If we have a combo swell of a northwest and a southwest,
gotcha. It converges.
Yes. And the other thing is it catches a lot of people off guard. You really got to know that wave and know what's going to happen if you're getting a combo wave, where it's going to shift to. Otherwise, you get caught in the wrong spot and just get pounded.
It does look like it dredges right there.
It's a mini slab, let's call it.
Yeah.
So a lot of guys get in the wrong spot, get pounded, and then they're like, okay, I'm going over here. Right. So you got to watch it. You got to know it. It's not the place you just want to go charge when you first pull up.
Right.
You want to watch that and see it with different swells, different.
But if you had like if you were doing toe outs or toe ins, or you had a
much
winch,
easier.
You could control where you really came into it. You could let it develop and then get in the right spot.
As long as your driver knows the wave. Right?
Sure.
A lot of times the driver, if he's unaware, he's going to put you in the wrong spot.
Well, in Josh's winch standpoint,
you're
the
perfect.
driver.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That would be the ultimate.
It's trippy to think about that.
Yeah.
So does it get hollow? Does it
that
there?
Wave is hollow when it breaks?
Yep.
And then it hits deep water again and turns into a nice, fun, rideable wave.
Yep.
And then it'll line up more like a trestles wave all the way into my camp.
Gotcha.
Down at the point, okay, technically that is the point.
Sure,
if you
sure.
Look, if you're a geologist,
It's more
right?
like first, second, third point
Right.
type setup.
But the point, as the surfers call it, on the southwest swells, gets hollow on the inside, and it's got to be the right size. If it gets too big, it breaks further out. It's not
rolls.
It's a little mushier, it'll break. It's super fun, but couple feet overhead is the perfect size for it to line up on the inside.
And then the next one is what they call chili bowls.
Chili bowl is like a horseshoe shaped bowl that breaks right and left.
Mm.
So on the big northwest swells, as they fracture and wrap around, you get a really fast hollow zipper left.
Nice.
But mainly it's a right. The left is for the advanced guys that don't mind. You're going left at a right point break. So
sure.
You're heading towards the cliff, right? You're like, okay, but it's pretty safe if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's another point further than that. Some people call it Bird Shit Rock or Gilligan's, and then it's another half mile plus to the fish camp. And you can ride waves from the point to the fish camp. It's like over a mile.
Now, we saw a couple of people there. They seemed like they were kind of setting up a semi-permanent residence. Are those people, do they come to you for that? Like, how does that work?
So we part of our deal when I took over the lease was, I want everybody to come enjoy the place.
Yeah.
So if that means you're going to tow in a trailer and camp, great. Actually, right now there's a French family. They're French Canadian. The guy sold his company, and he's got two little girls, 5 and 2 years old, and his wife, and they're staying like 9 months. They did it last year.
Good
the
for
kids
them,
are growing
man.
up right on the beach,
Good
but they got
for
a
them.
nice
So cool.
trailer,
Yeah.
so they just buy a season pass.
Yeah.
Park their trailer. They put all kinds of nice stones and made it, and the kids are growing up on the beach. It's incredible. So we allow people to come and camp. You want to come camp? It's $5 a day per person. We use our outhouses. We'll take care of all your trash. Or if you want to come stay at our place, it's like $350 a day, and it's all your food, all your booze, all your toys, showers, internet.
So it is all inclusive. That's one of the interesting things about it.
Very interesting and very, very cool.
And you guys take care of them.
Absolutely. Steak and lobster, Baja Fogs.
Oh, yeah.
Well, and not to
But
mention
good wine. We drink good wine.
Yes, we do. Wow, was that
everything
good.
there is top notch. Not to mention that the surfboards that you have, the quivers that you have there, like
everything's.
Where
as
did you
good as
come
we
up on
can get.
all those boards? And have you just been collecting for a long
Well,
time? Like
like I said, Randy Sleigh used to shape all my boards, and being in the industry, I did a lot of surf trips for the surf industry, Quicksilvers,
Sure.
Oakley, Billabong, and
is
we just
Quicksilver
know
in the
people.
surf industry anymore?
Well, I don't know.
I'm just messing around. Come on.
I'm not sure what they're doing.
Come on, Jim.
Jim. So we know good shapers, and we get good surfboards. Our mountain bikes, we're using Santa Cruz, top of the line,
Those are nice rigs.
mountain bikes are, 6 plus.
What capacity does so it has like a tent city for everyone to stay in. What is the total capacity for occupants?
Well, we're really comfortable in the 20 to 25 person range. Yeah. Cameron Steele likes to pick weeks where we already have 25 people and then bring 25 more.
Sounds about right.
Which
The
is
circus.
awesome. We put up more tents. We have the girls make more tamales. And
So were
we
some of those
truckload-
tents not usually up?
Right.
Which ones? The 4 and the 4?
The ones that aren't being used.
They
So
weren't.
When they're not being used, we just tear them down.
Right. But
So
I mean,
they-
which ones did you put up for our adventure? The ones up by the trailer, the 2 sets of 4?
Yes. Yeah, the little
pad off
little
to the right.
cabana behind us.
Yeah.
Those tents are
Which
really
I thought was pretty epic.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah.
those tents are really awesome. I mean, are those
Yeah.
like military tents? Like,
Well,
what are those things?
I've gone through a bazillion different tents.
Can imagine.
And the problem with the nylon, backpacking tents is we're not backpacking. We don't need a super light tent, and
Right.
the sun just bakes those.
You want it
some
to last.
durability.
So we found the first ones we started using was from Kirkland, not Kirkland, Kirkham's out of Salt Lake City. They're called spring bar tents, and they're canvas, And they have bigger ones, where you can stand in, but these are little 2-person,
Yeah.
chest high tents, really comfortable for one person. But they're canvas, they're sturdy, they don't flap in the wind, and the canvas lasts a couple years compared to 80 days.
Right.
On a nylon tent.
How do those things work in the rain? Like when the rain comes
they're
through,
fine. They
don't
they're
leak?
treated. Nope.
Nice.
Then we found through Cabela's,
Mm-hmm.
they had a company called Kodiak make them very similar tents, but
Also canvas.
Also canvas, but we like them a little better. They had just a little better design for the door, and they have 2 side windows, so you can open up.
I saw those 2 kinds. They're very similar.
They're very similar.
Very
And,
similar.
I think they're both in Salt Lake.
We were in the nylon ones on the upstairs.
Right.
A little smaller, but up out of the way under the structure.
Yeah.
There wasn't any wind going on there. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Yeah. So Spring Bar, if you need a good tent, or Kodiak. If you're not backpacking, you don't need to carry that thing 5 miles into where you're going. If you're car camping in this, I see my 4Runner over there. You throw that canvas tent in the back of that thing, and you're.
You had asked me. It's had it sitting here waiting for you.
That thing's beautiful.
It's nice.
So you're shutting down you shut down.
Yeah, we're closed November through into March.
When the waves
And
are really big.
no private openings, no.
Yeah, we've
special
done stuff. We've done
things?
some mountain bike TV shows.
Sure.
A lot of pros will come and
our Christmas party.
Special things like that. Brian Lopes used to come out and do stuff in the winter. We'll do some bike, almost like a Michael Jordan basketball camp. We'll get a top pro to come out and teach people for a week on skills. And we do that with like Jim Hall. You guys met down at our place last week. He comes for 3 weeks, and he has people come from all over the world, and he coaches them.
Yeah.
Coach. That's him.
Yeah.
Because people, they're spending a lot of money to come ride the best waves in the world for windsurfing or supping, and why not if you can have a coach? You're going to pay a lot less dues trying to learn it yourself. Than trying to learn. So those work out good. Tons of fun.
It was cool to see them flying in on airplanes too.
Yeah.
Which is another thing. The airport being about 100 feet away from what you're saying is.
Yeah.
It's definitely awesome.
Now, is that how most of the guests come, or is it most of them by truck, or how's that work?
People are more than welcome to get themselves to Punta San Carlos. In fact, I noticed you have these awesome Baja bound coffee cups, and we get our insurance through them, as well as a lot of guys will rent cars through Baja Bound.
You can rent cars through Baja Bound.
On their website, they have companies that will allow you to take vehicles into Mexico. Not all rental car companies will let you take vehicles across the border. But on the Baja
I have
Bound,
no idea why they wouldn't let you do that.
Yeah, especially on the dirt roads. But so you're more than welcome to get to us. However, we have a lot of private planes come in on their own, and then our arrangement is if you want to do our Saturday to Saturday fly-in trip, we'll fly in for free. So however you want to do it.
For a week at a time.
For a week at a time.
So
Saturday
are
to
those
Saturday.
You had your plane that you get in and off of, where the other 2 planes that we saw, is that part of your company that does that?
Yep.
So when did the flying part start?
Oh,
and how come you get to fly the nicer plane?
I'm guessing after the runway part.
Yes. Well, what's funny is one of our guys that comes and visits a lot, and I got to tell you, I know about a dozen people that got their licenses just to fly to San Carlos.
Absolutely.
After you do that drive more than once or twice, you're like, wow, what's it take? Anyway, so this guy has one of his first times there. They get there at night, and he
you can land them at night?
No, he drove, and he parks, and in the morning he gets up, and he's kind of like, because you get in there at night, you're not sure where you're parked or set up camp. They just parked and slept, and he woke up and he's looking around. He's like, is this a runway? This is a runway. So he immediately went, got his license, bought a plane, and has flown in ever since. But for me, once I was invited to fly with him in there, and to get there in an hour and a half, 2 hours, compared to a 9-hour drive that ruins your car, that was it. Like, wow, we got to work this out. So we spent a lot of time with the Mexican government getting the runway cleared. You know, it's a legal registered runway that we have.
Number 28. It's something's hitting me. It's number 28.
Number 28.
So you have to let anybody can land there. Does anybody
yes,
unrelated to
we
you
we
land
do
there?
allow that. I mean, it is on private property. Technically, it's a private airstrip, but you know, we don't treat it that way because you know, when you come in a plane, there's not a lot of options. You can't really bring all of your toys and mountain bikes and camping gear and beer and water and ice, and so they're going to stay with us. So it works out great.
What's the biggest plane you've had land there?
A Grumman Albatross, which is a little mini Spruce Goose.
Okay, yeah.
It's a seaplane.
Yeah.
My chief pilot was the chief pilot for the Billabong, I believe they call it the Clipper. And I was fortunate enough, we did a couple trips in that too, with some Andy Irons and Shane Dorian, where we based out of San Carlos and actually were able to, fly to some massive waves and land in, where unless you had a boat, you couldn't get access. And the boat would take you days to get there. And we were, an hour landing, riding some good surf. So this plane sat 14 people. We had about 30 surfboards, a Zodiac in the back, and pretty awesome.
That's a big plane because I've seen it at Palomar Airport.
Yes.
It's
a
not
big
a little plane.
It's not.
That's pretty
Now,
amazing.
your other planes, how many are there? And when you're having a big group come in, how many people come in? How many planes are there, and how many people can come on each plane?
Well, there are 6-seaters, so you need the pilot. And what we do is we put 4 people in a plane
and luggage.
And a little bit of luggage. And we have everything at camp, so these people can come with, a 50-pound bag of, wetsuit,
toothpaste,
clothes, and that's it.
But all of us brought our big giant rolling bags and barely dunked into it. We were all talking that we could have just done the backpack and been like, fine.
That's what happens. People every first timer, they bring way too much stuff. And then when they see all the stuff we have toothpaste, we have toothbrushes, we have,
flip-flops and trunks.
Yep. That's all you need.
All right. Well, we're going to take ourselves to our final break. And when we come right back, we'll hear more from Solo Sports.
It'll rock your brain, ruin your good name, take money for your shame, and we're all entertained. What can you do?
You're listening to Guy Talk, broadcasting live from the Sport Clips Haircuts locker room. Caller, you're on the air.
Hey, boxers or briefs?
Speaking briefly, boxers. Unless you're a boxer, then I'd go briefs. Next caller.
I want to find my nearest Sport Clips, but I don't want to ask for directions.
It's not technically asking for directions if you use sportclips.com to find your nearest Sport Clips location, and no one will ever know. Let's take a break for a word from our sponsor, Sport Clips, where guys go to get an awesome haircut while watching sports on TV. Throw in our relaxing massaging shampoo and our legendary hot steam towel, and you've got our MVP haircut experience. Your head will be as majestic as a freshly mowed Major League outfield. Try it today. Last caller, you're on the air with Guy Talk.
So how cool is getting a haircut at Sport Clips?
Oh, it's like stepping up to the plate and slam dunking a touchdown. That's all the time we have today. This has been Guy Talk, brought to you by Sport Clips, where it's good to be a guy.
Hey, I'm Caroline Buchanan, BMX Bandit, 5-time world champ. You're listening to The Action Sports Show.
You're on, guys.
And we're back here on the Action Sports Show. Solo Sports is the theme for the evening. Where were we? We were talking about the biggest planes you've landed on that runway of yours.
Yeah. Yep.
I suppose you can come in by a boat too, huh?
People have, yeah. Usually it's on the way down to Cabo. They're coming back up, not so much, not as fun into the swells. So they have their crews do that for them.
Right. Must be nice. What about that fishing, the little fishing camp village that's down there? How's your relationship with them?
Oh, we're they all work for us, right? So
right.
I was telling Dan over here earlier that basically
He's
it
good.
was
He is good.
it was my head cook, Emerita, right? Emerita's Kitchen. She's been with me like 19 years. And so when she first started, we were getting fish, lobster, abalone, crab, everything from her dad. Well, now we're getting it from her kids. Her kids are fishermen.
Yeah.
Right. So our relationship, there's a lot of things that myself and Solo Sports have done over the years for the Mexicans, because that's part of the whole experience. It's not,
Agreed.
I'm going to go ride great waves. It's not, I'm going to go eat great food. It's the people. The Mexican people are amazing. And, we'll bring doctors and dentists down there and do free clinics for them. We'll do, I'll bring, I've given cars to them, underwater diving lights, GPSs, so they can find their way back in the fog bank. We've taught the fishermen to wear their hip waders boots a couple sizes too big, so when they fall overboard and fill up with water, they can kick and swim out of them.
Instead of the suction.
They used to lose a couple guys a year because they couldn't get their boots off.
Wow.
Their waders, and they fill up with water, and it's hard to swim. So we do a lot, baby diapers and medicines, and so I think we do that naturally because we love it, and they're humans like we are, and we love them as people. But
they're great people. I got to tell you, your
they're
staff
amazing.
is so awesome. I mean, all of them.
Yeah.
I mean, just super.
But and I believe that's been part of our success. The relationship with the local people, and the things we've done. We scratch each other's backs. We become family. We bring Thanksgiving down to them and celebrate, and we bring Christmas, and
well, it shows they appreciate it, with the whole story you told us about the Dahui. And experiences like that down there. So they definitely have.
That was a wild story. When I was hearing it, I was like, this is made up. This isn't real.
You heard that from Clark.
I just heard a little bit of it, I think.
Yeah.
Maybe from you or something. I don't know who you heard it from.
Well, so we're very well looked at after. And because of our relationship with the local people there. And there's actually a couple different things going on. You've got the fish camp, which is 2 miles away from us. And then just to the west of us, which most people will think is north, but up the coast towards California, there's a lot of, they farm rocks. They collect the ornamental round rocks for gardens and landscape.
That's crazy.
And they're trucked. Yeah, it's river rock. You can buy it at Lowe's, San Quintin river rock comes right out of the beaches there. And that's a rough existence. Those guys are bagging rocks, and they need to bag them similar size, similar colors, and the bags are like 140 pounds, and they're not making a lot of money at it. Somebody is, but the actual guys working the beaches aren't. And they're in the middle of nowhere. They're just trying to scrape by and make it. So we try to help them as much as possible, but they sometimes they look at the Americans come in their $50,000-$60,000 campers, and and they don't really commingle, if that makes sense. They kind of look at him like we got to stay away from those guys. So anyway, but the fishermen love us, and they kind of watch after us, and I mean,
plus
we're family.
Your
so
family, literally,
Yeah.
and with your chef, their head chef, and you're probably one of their important customers as well.
Absolutely, yeah. And we buy our
How
fish
many
from them.
full-time staff?
It grows. The full-time staff down there is a group of 4 Mexicans. The head chef Emerita and her guy Genaro. And then we have Cinia and Angel. And then, if we have a huge group, we might have a couple more. Actually, Emerita runs the whole thing. She knows how many people we have, and she'll just
bolster her staff if need be.
So I don't have to worry about it.
And Lauren's kind of like
Lauren's
an
awesome.
intern kind of thing.
Well,
or
so
what?
Lauren came as a guest last fall.
Okay.
Loved it. Stayed a couple weeks. Obviously, she's from England.
Yep.
Just fell in love with San Carlos and said, "Hey, what do I got to do to work here next year?" And so we worked out a deal for her to stay for the season and play and eat and and do some work and enjoy herself.
She's awesome, very friendly.
Yeah.
Works well, does a great job, and then goes out there with the kiteboard and
rips.
kicks ass.
Rips. She has gotten so good from spending time. You ride enough waves, you get good. And
Right.
the thing about San Carlos is the long waves. You get so good so quick because you can do 50 turns on a wave, 30 turns.
Right.
Whereas a lot of places you get 1 or 2 turns and then you got to work all the way back upwind and so here
This thing, not so much work.
not as much.
You steer and go
Right.
back up with.
Right.
But it's a 2-person operation, right? When you guys were launching it.
We do that at our camp. We will help the person launch. There is a way you
Can
can
she do it by herself? If she's just
you
chilling?
can do
Yeah.
it. It's not easy at where we are because of the rocky coastline and there's lots
Would
of
she
shells
start
on the
down
beach.
on the beach
Yes.
instead of up top? if
Yeah,
it
and
was
you
solo? Yeah.
actually set the kite up and then finagle the line so that it wants to fly and then you coerce it up. But much safer if somebody's launching and landing for you as opposed to you doing it yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Shout out to my brother who just sent us a message. Who was down on the trip also, Brian.
Whose brother?
Who,
That was
my.
He said MY.
Jim, I believe it's my brother.
Oh.
Uh,
Shout out to your brother.
Hey, great time. Super stoked. He came out, McFly guy. Great time hanging out with him and everybody else. Super stoked.
Are we missing one thing now?
Fun to see him trunk it down there.
One thing?
We haven't talked about the some of the traditions there. So we got there and arrived, and it's tradition for everybody to experience a Baja fog.
Yes, absolutely. Love the Baja fogs. But super easy. Corona, crack it open, fill the open space in the neck with tequila, squirt a little lime juice in there, and boom, just
Baja
jam
It
fog.
creates a fog, but you have to upend it completely upside down, otherwise it'll mix.
Yeah, and then you get a tequiza, which isn't all that
Is
bad.
it a bad thing?
No. But the original idea, I think, is the neck, the skinny neck of the tall neck bottle keeps the tequila floating. Then you squirt the lime juice on it. So basically, you get your shot of tequila. If you go straight up and down and just guzzle 3-4 gulps, you get the shot of tequila, a little squirt of lime juice, and a beer chaser.
So once it gets to beer, you can stop and just sip the rest of your beer.
The young guys just down the whole thing and ask for another one.
They're trouble, though.
Yeah.
Tell you what, you start getting about
Yeah, buddy.
4 or 5 miles out, and your mouth just starts salivating thinking about the Baja fog. 'cause
Oh
you know
yeah,
it's
coming in.
And you guys had me because when we stopped at that other surf spot on the way in, we got to roll out of here if we're going to see the Baja fog. And I see like a fog bank coming in, and I'm like, we got to hurry. I can see it. It's right there. I totally hook, line, and sinker,
Well, and that's actually where we believe it came from. I did not invent the Baja fog, but I was introduced to it from a guy I met on my first trip. And part of the reason that the wind is so unique at San Carlos or is so consistent is that marine layer fog bank that sits right off the coast and comes in and out. You can see it, and it's dark and black and mean looking. And that's what you get when you see if you do it right, you squirt enough lime juice in there, you can see the fog bank in your little bottle. Tequila does funny things to people.
And it's mean.
Yeah. Any more than 2 and you're on your own.
Listen, we're about the end of our show, and I want to make sure to get a point to put your website out there and some of your social media. So let people know where they can find you.
The easiest way is our website, and that's solosports.net.
Solosports.net.
Yep. And you can find us Solo Sports Adventure Holidays on Facebook.
And on Instagram, Solosports_.
Shoot, I don't even know what it is. I wish
PCS
Joey was
or
here.
something like
We'll
that.
find it. Yeah, something like that. Solo Sports PSC.
You can find it where they're actually tagged in at TE Action Sports right now, so you can check it out. Jim, you going to throw some love for us to wrap this thing up?
Yep, just wanted to thank again all the sponsors: Toyota Escondido, Baja Designs, Baja Bound Insurance, Wiener Schnitzel, Method Race Wheels, Ibach Springs, Factory Canopies, Grip Clean,
Yeah, buddy.
Fanda Labs, Slime, There's No Stopping You, Scrub Blade, of course, the Action Sports Show, Toyota Escondido, TE Motorsports, and the Desert Assassins. And thanks to everybody. Thank you guys for a wonderful time. Love you guys. Love your place. Look forward to being back. Thanks to all of our guests, Mr. Josh Sleigh, all you folks for listening. Don't forget to check us out each and every week, Tuesdays, 6:30 to 8:30. You can go to @TE Action Sports to follow the social media. And hey, from all of us here at the Action Sports Show, hope you have a fantastic week. We'll see you next time. Remember, don't text and drive. We'll see you right here next week on the Action Sports Show.
Fog it up.
Yeah, buddy.
Fog me, fog you.
Yeah, buddy.